Namaskar. The question is masturbation harmful to health? Anything done in excess is going to create a problem. Human tendency is always like this, that if you derive pleasure high out of something, you want to do it more and more till it comes to a level that becomes your addiction. And that is really, really harmful. Here, with addiction, you are not just destroying that organ, but destroying actually your whole life because of that. Ayurveda says that one drop of semen is like 40 drops of your bone marrow. It is so much strong. Similarly, one drop of semen is equivalent to 50 drops of blood. So understand, every time when person masturbates, so much of energy is getting wasted. For what? For pleasure? Which would be very wrong. Consequently, it leads to nutrient deficiencies, loss of hair, dryness of skin. In fact, all the symptoms of old age starts. I know one boy who came to me. He was totally frustrated, very dejected. He said, my life is ruined. And he told me why. He said that he used to do masturbation every night. The moment he was alone at night, he would be masturbating. Without that, he couldn't sleep. Now, this dependency on masturbation was creating a problem for him, and he was doing for years together. After marriage, he couldn't perform. It was like impotency, erectile dysfunction. He was miserable, wife was miserable, he couldn't have a child, and it was a misery all over. His family, wife's family, and his entire world was suffering. Why? Why? Because excess of anything is harmful, and he did nothing else but excess of masturbation in his life. Apart from this, excess of such act is going to make your career also in a poor condition, because your focus would be lost, your concentration would be lost. You will not be able to do your work so efficiently as you should have done otherwise. This is very similar to the addiction of alcohol and smoking. Person totally gets deluded. Some argue and say that there are benefits of masturbation and it should be done. Is there any benefit? Let's understand. Yes, it definitely helps you in calming down the sexual urges. It releases sexual tension. But why nowadays sexual tension arises? In young age, the energy is so high. That's why in olden times, they used to get married in much younger age. It had its own drawbacks, but sexual energy was managed very well. And now people are not married till quite a long age. So that energy, how we would manage? So this is the process through which he would manage it. But then it should be understood that anything in excess is bad. So once in a month or maybe twice in a month would be more than enough. Otherwise, it is going to create a disaster for you and for the family. It would slowly get into addiction, which would be wrong. This act is a very good stress buster too. Medical science says that your body releases a happy hormone which helps you to manage your stress. But then it has a very temporary effect. We should know that. Then what? You should know how to handle the stress otherwise also, not just through this. One very important point is that this sex is totally self-reliant sex. You are under stress, you know how to release the stress, and you do some such act accordingly. Why is masturbation becoming an addiction in today's youth? This is because at this age, the sexual urges are at the highest. The main problem is the exposure to porn contents. Today's youths are exposed to vulgarity in almost all the areas, like social medias, advertisements, films, and all these things attract them very strongly. Almost 80 to 90% of internet usage is on porn, and that is the whole problem. Today's youth is exposed to all such things very easily, and that affects their psyche very strongly. And you should know that this porn addiction leads to masturbation addiction too. So, how to control this masturbation? Addiction is a part of your subconscious mind. Subconscious means deep rooted. So, it will take a lot of effort to overcome this addiction. You should learn to divert your energy. And here are few ways through which you will definitely divert your energy to be more productive, more useful. Always be around people. Go out with friends, families, and do some productive activities with them. Keep your mind cheerful and active all the time. In case you have nobody around, you find yourself lonely, then you should indulge in some hobby. That's our second point. Develop some hobby. Among hobbies, reading books is a wonderful hobby. Always keep books with you. Other hobbies like going for a trek, going with nature, dancing, singing, climbing, jumping, all these could be wonderful things. Pottery, drawing, painting, all such hobbies are really engrossing. Person could really love. Photography is also a wonderful hobby. Activity physically is very much required. So running, climbing, playing some game, football, badminton, tennis is very, very important. We should be active. Swimming also is wonderful exercise which you should do, and see that we are using our energy constructively. With all that, your body will be fit. You will be definitely having more control over every part of your body, and by which you will strengthen your system. All these activities you may be doing every day very religiously, but remember, sometimes you may fail, sometimes you may indulge, because after all it is an addiction. Don't worry, don't put yourself down, don't feel guilty about it. Accept things would slowly improve, and I tell you that person definitely would improve if person is determined. So carry on, do your part, put your effort, and see that you come out of this addiction in your life and be successful person in all fields.